Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Iconic Dollcast. My name is Sage, and welcome back to another collection video. Today, I'm going to be reorganizing and showing you my Spice Girls doll collection along with my other celebrity dolls as well. Spice Girls were such a major thing to me when I was growing up, and I was absolutely obsessed with their dolls. Spice Girls led into Britney, and my collection is still growing to this day, so I'm very excited to show you all of this. If you haven't yet, please check out my podcast, The Iconic Dollcast. It's a show all about dolls and doll collecting. It's a lot of fun, and if you like dolls at all, I think you will really enjoy the show, so please go check that out wherever you listen to or watch podcasts. But now, let's get into reorganizing my celebrity doll collection. Alright, so here is how everything is right now. And when I reorganize things, I like to take everything down and just put it in a big pile. And I'm not sure how efficient that is, but it's what works for me. This is where the dolls usually are, right next to the Britney collection. And I think we're going to start with Spice Girls because they have a main focus in the doll room. And then we will get into Cher and all of her other wonderful celebrity friends. So basically what I have done is separated all the Spice Girls by member. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to organize this, but I mean, Spice Girls are such a big part of my life. I think all of these dolls are either from my childhood or thrifted. There's also some custom stuff in here, which we will look at. But I mean, Spice Girls were my big first introduction into pop music. They mean a lot to me. Starting with Mel B, I think this is how I'm going to place them, just like this. And here's an example of some custom stuff that I have in here. We've got a Spice World album cover doll, as well as a Say You Will Be There music video doll. And I am going to keep a custom in the doll room, but these Spice World dolls, I have one of each. They have kind of a special place in my house that I will show you when we are finished with all of this. But yes, this is how the Spice Girls are going to go. Here is my Scary Spice collection. I love her dolls so much. They're so gorgeous. And I think next we will get into Emma. And Emma is the only Spice Girl that I only have one custom doll of currently. This is my Spice World doll, so I want to show her to you now before I put her to the side. Love the Spice World album. It's the first album I ever got on CD. It's very special to me, and I think this custom doll is super cute. And personally, I do not have a favorite Spice Girl. I would croak if I saw any of them in real life, but I know growing up, a lot of people liked Baby Spice a lot. Here are my Baby Spice dolls. And honestly, I don't think any of these are in their original outfit. I couldn't tell you who goes with what, but I've done my best. And some of their outfits definitely need some work and their hair, but I haven't gotten there yet. Next, we have Jerry. This is my Spice World Jerry. Very, very iconic. And then we have, I think, a very, very early Britney Spears custom dolls version of a Spice Girls. This is Ginger Spice from the Wannabe video. As you can see, her outfit is falling apart. She definitely needs a touch-up, but I'm glad I have saved her over all of these years. This must be like 8 or 9 years old at this point. We all remember where we were when we heard that Ginger left the Spice Girls. I was in first grade and I was absolutely gutted, but I love her dolls. Here's my Ginger Spice collection, and she doesn't have as many as the other girls because, you know, she left early, but that's all right. And I would argue that this doll right here, the Union Jack Ginger Spice doll, is absolutely the most iconic celebrity doll of all time. So she is going to get a center position in this display. And Spice Girl dolls are pretty easy to get. I think I got this on tour doll at a thrift store for like $5, so they're out there. This is a custom Victoria Posh Spice doll, and honestly, I don't even think I have shared this yet. I made this for fun. This is a custom Who Do You Think You Are video doll. She has extra, extra long hair. She is gorgeous. And next to her is my Spice World Victoria doll, which I absolutely love. And I will say, when it comes to my Spice doll collection, my Victoria dolls, outside of my customs, are definitely in the most rough shape. They all need some kind of a makeover. Her hair is like glued to her head. It's really hard to undo, but I did try working on it at one point and gave up. But I will get back to it at some point. You can see her hair is kind of crazy on some of these, but this is my Posh Spice collection. Love the Gucci dress. Moving on to Sporty Spice, this is my custom Too Much music video Mel C doll, and I actually made this doll out of an on tour Ginger Spice dress as well as an on tour Mel C pants. I just hemmed them. It was super easy. And fun fact, this is not my original, but the on tour Mel C doll was my first Spice Girl doll that I ever got. Here is my Mel C Spice World album cover custom doll. And I really think Mel C is probably the most underrated Spice Girl. I think she deserves a lot more credit for what she brought to the band. And I love all of her dolls, the iconic red streak in her hair and the gold tooth. She is everything. And yes, this is where my Spice Girls doll collection stands at the moment. For those of you who don't know, Galoob Toys released the Spice Girl dolls in late 1997, and they remain the number one best-selling celebrity dolls of all time. They are so iconic, such a huge moment of my childhood. I'm so glad to have all of these, and I love the Spice Girls, and I always will. And then just to show you guys, this is where I keep my Spice World custom dolls. These are in my hallway, the hallway of stars, as I like to call it. And like I said, the Spice World album was the first pop album I ever got. Truly, truly changed my life. I was so excited to finally sit down and make these. I think they all turned out great, and I love the display. It's kind of the first thing you see when you walk into my house. So I'm very proud of these and definitely proud to display them because they are iconic. And next, we are going to talk about the next legend, and that is Cher. So this is my collection of 1976, 77, not quite sure on the date, Mego Cher dolls. Cher did have a doll come out much later, but I love these dolls so much. If you haven't yet, please check out the episode I did about the Cher doll. I did a deep dive into these dolls. They were extremely successful, even beating out Barbie in sales. I think in 1977, again, don't quote me on that, but they had tons and tons and tons of outfits you could buy for these dolls, and I appreciated that because you didn't have to buy a new doll every single time. And I did have quite a few more of these dolls back in the day. I ended up selling a lot of them just because I didn't need so many. But fun fact about the Cher doll, guys, is that without the Cher doll, I am not sure I would be where I'm at today because I actually learned how to reroute doll hair with the Cher dolls in like 2016. And doing that is really what opened up my life to the world of custom doll designs, and that's how Britney Spears custom dolls came to be. So this doll is really important to my career and my growth. Right here, this is my very first reroute that I ever did. I'm so, so happy that I kept her because really, I'm not sure if Britney Spears custom dolls would even exist if I didn't figure out how to reroute hair. So I owe a lot to this doll. I love her so much. I have her huge dressing room, which is iconic. I also have a carrying case. This used to be full of stuff before I sold most of it off, but I did keep the carrying case. It's not in the best condition, but still amazing piece to have. And they released a lot of stuff through Mego with Cher, which I think is really cool. And again, these dolls were very, very successful and beat out Barbie in sales when they were released, which is pretty, pretty iconic. And you know what? Moving back to girl groups really quickly, I want to talk about Little Mix. These are my custom Little Mix dolls, you guys. I love Little Mix. I would argue on some days I like them more than the Spice Girls. They are one of, if not my most favorite girl group of all time, and Little Mix iconically has some of the ugliest dolls ever produced. Not sure how this got passed through to be released, but because they are so unattractive, they are iconic, and I did what I could with them, but I had to have some custom dolls because, again, I love Little Mix so much. Even Jessie Nelson, don't tell anyone, I still love her. And so happy to have these as a part of my collection. And I think because they are so iconically unattractive, it's iconic to keep them how they were. I'll get into some more Madonna stuff in just a second because I have a lot to say about that. But down here we've got my Wicked dolls, and I have not yet made any custom Ariana Grande dolls with her new face sculpt, but I definitely plan on doing that at some point in the future. I got these dolls on clearance recently. Very excited to do that. Down here, we've got a One Directioner, R.I.P. Liam Payne, Justin Bieber, Hilary Duff, a random Britney doll. Not sure why she is over here. We've got my NSYNC marionette dolls. I hate these dolls. They are so annoying. They don't pose right. They get in the way. Here is my Aaliyah doll. This was a fantastic release from this year. She was very, very hard to get, but I did get her. This Gwen Stefani doll is also iconic, and I'm not sure, I can't remember what play line released those, but I think I have Ashley Tisdale and Allie and AJ dolls from that company as well. Down here we've got my Hannah Montana and Miley dolls. Of course, Michael Jackson. He has a different doll that was released much later that is a little bit more accurate, but this is the one from the 80s, which I love. We've got Elvis back here, and then Rosie O'Donnell. I would argue that Rosie O'Donnell actually has one of the best celebrity dolls of all time. It looks exactly like her. They did such a fantastic job with this sculpt. We've got Gem in the Holograms from the 80s. And then next to her, we've got the Gem in the Holograms doll that was released this year by TLS Toys. And I think this doll is definitely in the running to be my favorite doll released of the year. We'll see, the year is not over, but she is definitely iconic and amazing. And up here, we've got my Madonna stuff. So, Madonna notoriously has never released an official doll of herself, which I think is wild. These are from the Dick Tracy movie in 1990, and they're actually considered figures, not dolls. Not sure why Madonna allowed this and not a real doll. Back here, we've got an original Britney Spears custom doll as well. This is Madonna in her Blonde Ambition era. This definitely needs some work. And then we've got the full-sized figure of Breathless Mahoney. Madonna's name is not mentioned on this box. I have been willing to customize this, but her head is kind of screwed on the body a little bit strangely, so I have not got there yet. But again, Madonna notoriously does not give up her licensing for dolls, which I think is crazy. Here we have my custom Lindsay Lohan My Scene doll. I just made this randomly one day because I was bored, and this is a recent custom of beautiful Addison Rae. She is on her tour right now, and she is making some amazing iconic Britney references, which I love. I also have some Christina Aguilera customs. This one is from the 2000 VMAs. I feel like Christina's doll gets a lot of hate, but with a little work, she does look a lot better. Here's my custom Genie in a Bottle doll. And then along with Rosie O'Donnell, I think Brandy actually does have the best celebrity doll ever made. It looks exactly like her. This is a custom Brandy doll in a VMA costume she wore. Literally looks just like her. This doll is so iconic, and I know these were extremely successful in the late 90s and early 2000s. Next to that, we've got a custom Shakira and Mariah Carey doll, also in VMA looks. They are excellent. A random Britney custom doll for Oops, of course. Gotta have Britney everywhere. And yes, so this is the celebrity doll collection. I do believe I have a few more over at my grandma's house that I need to get out of storage, but I've always loved celebrity dolls. Personally, I've never really cared that a lot of celebrity dolls don't actually look like who they're supposed to. I think when they look a little bit cartoonishy, it is iconic, and I don't really like it when things get too real. I think people who do repaints are so talented, but it's just not for me, so I do keep most of these in their original form. And yes, so the celebrity dolls, the Spice Girls, I love them so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a ton of fun reorganizing my collection with you. All right, thank you guys so much for going through and organizing my Spice Girls and Celebrity Doll collection with me. Again, please, if you haven't, check out the Iconic Dollcast, a podcast all about dolls, and I will talk with you guys next time.